Y'all stay on their channel. Go over and stream there because I'm only going to be here live. The only reason I'm streaming it to my channel tonight is just for the update. So y'all stay over there and go support them guys. I just want to give an update so it's there set in stone. Okay. So it's live. I'm giving it to you live tonight.
Yep, Dead Serious said he's going to get up here in about 15 minutes. We're going to see if we can get him
Cool.
up here
Cool.
too, so he can
Well,
teach
when
us some.
Dead Serious comes on, I might hop off because tonight I'm filming for Lights at Midnight and we're doing a video, a Sam and Colby reaction video to their latest one they just did with Joe Rogan. So we're doing, it's a big thing. It's half and half. So we're going to be doing the mothership tonight, and then we're going to do something else. Well, we're doing Bobby Mackey's next. So I guess y'all heard it here first. So we've
Awesome.
got it all done, and then I've got to finish getting ready because obviously I'm not completely ready. And I'm going to be doing releasing my class information. So I'm going to have a video for that. So I've got to just do a quick recording, and then I'm in the middle of editing that. So I have 3 filming projects tonight, and I probably have to do the audio for Lights at Midnight too.
You're gonna earn your keep tonight.
Yeah, I'm earning my keep tonight and for the rest of this darn week, but I'm not complaining. I'm happy. I asked for this. I'm manifesting. Here I am, and thank you for letting me come on tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you. Absolutely. Because we were already running out of things to say. We were already talking junk to each other. So it's good you got up here.
Right. Well, I'm here, and y'all already told them about, I'm sure, Henry River Mills this weekend.
Yeah.
We told them it's going to be your first investigation that we know of.
Yep, that it is. I've went to the West Virginia Penitentiary, and I went to like the hotel to see Annabelle up in Connecticut one time during like right after COVID, so 2021, and so yeah, I mean, I've been in a bunch of haunted places because I mean, there's a lot of places that are haunted, but not as far as ghost investigation. So I can tell y'all. So I've got 3 cat balls. Courtesy. So these things are courtesy of Emily, the fine art medium. She sent me 3 cat balls, her old ghost box, which is like sweeps through the radio stations, and she sent me a like 2011 Sony CyberShot camera. So I'm gonna, and it still works perfect. So I got that, and then we ordered V. He'll be with me this weekend, my fiance. He does not want to be on camera as much as possible, so he may be wearing a mask, but he's my camera guy. Um, and basically he'll be, videoing along with me. But he got, or me and him collectively, well, it's kind of like a birthday present. He got me a EMF reader, like one of those off of Amazon that has the lights.
Oh yeah.
And then he's got one of those grid. It's the cheap one. It's super cheap.
Yeah,
super
it's probably
cheap.
One of the ones like we got.
Yeah, it just has the lights at the top.
Are they red?
Yeah, it goes from green to red.
Yeah.
And yellow and orange and all that. The basic one. And then we got he had a flashlight, but he gave it to his friend yesterday, but it's one of those where you will have to tape the button so it stays on, but it's like a grid. So it's the green grid. It was super inexpensive. And what else did we get? We got something else. Oh, I got lights for my phones because we're going to be doing most of the filming on our phones. But he said he got me a birthday present early because it's like a month and a half away. So I don't know what he got, but I have a pretty good idea. I think it's going to help me with filming. So my plan is to go live on Saturday. As much as I want to be a part of the history and the walkthrough of the location, if they allow me to, I do not want to be a part of it because I want to channel in stuff, right? And maybe while we're there, I can watch some of the playback after I've channeled in. And I'm going to see if they'll let me kind of stick close, but kind of walk around. And I'm going to try to do my live during the history walkthrough because I don't know if we have a backup energy source for some of these things. Like we kind of do, but we're going to be pushing it. So whatever we get, we get. I'm going to be focused more on if I can get paranormal evidence with these devices and stuff, that's cool. But I'm walking in this bitch like Amy Allen, period. This is what's about to happen from the Dead Files. And y'all get ready to see something because when I went to the Trivet Clinic Center and I walked in that place, as fast as my information comes in is as fast as I start to see them. So I have a whole little plan I'm getting together and it's going to be super cool. So I've been watching paranormal stuff since, the Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters. So I'm pretty sure I can mimic what I've seen over the last like 20 or 30 years. So it's fine.
That's amazing. She does say
So
she gonna walk up at this bitch like Amy Allen Saturday
yeah,
night.
that's exactly what's going to happen. Y'all about to
That's
see something.
funny.
Something's about to be seen.
Oh, we're
And
gonna
it's going to
see
be some ghosties. So I want to do a pre-channeling, right? And this is me being adventurous. Okay. I want to do a pre-channeling, even if it's something I record, like, just like this that I do prior, and I may include it in the video with like timestamp or something. I don't think I
Yeah,
wanted to do a separate video, but there's no friggin' way. There's too much. But that's my plan for this weekend. I pray everything goes right. I don't particularly feel anything super evil or malicious. I'm getting like the feeling of a lot of like people that work there. There's a lot of people, and
yeah,
there's something that happened that the workers did not like, and they were almost. I'm getting that. I remember talking to y'all about it, about the indentured slave part. I think they really felt
yeah,
sometimes like slaves, like they were owed to the company because they put them up there. So that's the feeling
yeah,
I'm getting. I'm seeing somebody that lost an arm or hand or a leg or something. There's probably been deaths in this
probably
meal.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I'm excited. I'm getting that kind of impression. And like now I'm visually seeing like people walking in a line, slunched over, clocking in. It's just day in, day out, day in, day out. And it's kind of sad. So I'm very
yeah,
interested into finding out the history after I channel at the location.
That's going to be
yeah,
great. And see, that's good for us because we probably get a lot of the same feelings you do, but we don't realize it. You know your feelings.
Yes.
So really, the only thing I can, of course, you get the nervousness, we get the anxiety will kick in. But the biggest thing for me is I can feel the weight. I
Yeah.
always said I feel like there's 150 pounds, there's 200 pounds on my shoulders, and it's heavy, and it'll drag you down and wear you down. And then what happens is you start letting your mind run away. You start
Yeah.
getting mental, and
Yeah.
that's I feel like when you start getting mental and you get down on yourself and you do have some spirit activity, that's when it takes advantage of you.
yeah,
It'll find a weak person in the group if there's one. Always
Yeah.
does.
yeah,
Yeah, and I'm excited because I know we'll be together. Like I'm sure we'll all be together as a group, and then we're going to break off. I'm sure. I'm sure y'all have kind of an idea or a plan or something about switching or whatever y'all want to do. I'm down with. I don't. The thing is, I don't even have to go to pick up the information, right? So I can be accommodating here. I'd be willing to once we break up and do all of our stuff or do it together, however we're going to do it. I'd be willing to go around to each crew and kind of relay what I get or give them a part to their video if they're doing a video. So if y'all want me to do like a little skit or monologue for what I feel and be able to add that into your
yeah.
content, I'm totally open on doing that too.
Yeah, we'll
So
do that.
whatever
That
y'all want to
sounds
do, I'm a
awesome.
planner. I'm an event planner 10 years running. So I have to
And
plan all
let's
my
say it,
stuff out.
we're
Yeah,
wingers.
I'm going to
We
have,
wing it.
I mean, I can
Yeah,
wing it too. Don't get me wrong, but I just want to
yeah,
have like my plan, and then
I get
whatever,
you
I mean,
gotta
I'll
have
ride
that.
the wave. It don't matter.
Yeah, you gotta have a plan.
yeah,
We just we stay so dang busy. It's hard to make a plan.
I get
yeah,
that.
We're much better than we were. We are a lot better. But man,
yeah,
we've been running on a single thread. It's just been it
Bless your
has been
heart.
tough for us. But we know we've been looking forward to this place for a year, to almost 2.5 years, and it finally come
Wow.
to fruition. So, and like I was saying earlier, I heard stories from another paranormal group this week that it was nothing to it. These guys go a lot of places. They do a lot of things. So, you can believe what they say. But now, what
Right.
they consider nothing to it, and what we might consider nothing to it, is two different things.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I do feel like the spirits don't always communicate with everybody.
yeah,
You
No,
know,
you're right. They don't. But when you have people like me, and I believe you're having a couple other intuitives coming, they will flock to us.
yeah,
So it
and
might not be, but it might not be capturable. That's the thing. We don't know. But I can definitely get residual energy and I can get impressions. And if there's a spirit there, I will see it. So, and I mean, that's just the validation, the ghost hunt. That's my end of it. And I know y'all are going after a totally different, thing. And I get that. But I'm saying, like,
yeah,
hopefully, I, I have an idea in mind of how I'm going to ask them to step forward,
hmm
and stuff like
good,
that. So I
good.
have a feeling that it might not be, I don't feel anything negative currently, right? It just really feels like normal everyday spirits or even residual energy. But there's
Yeah.
some stuff, there's stuff there. But the one thing that
Well,
would concern me would be the elemental spirits in the surrounding area, because this is Appalachia. So,
Yeah.
well, the lady who works there, she said not putting on. It was, and I'm not trying to plant seeds in your head because I know you're
that's
like
fine.
just hush. Let me get it on my own.
It's fine. You can go ahead.
But she said they try not to be there when the sun goes down.
Okay.
She said, I won't bore you with that. She said, but if you are a true paranormal investigator, I won't have to tell you that. You'll know it. She
Yeah.
said that she's been there a long time. Many seasons, she called it. She's seen the same two apparitions walk the ground.
Okay.
And one of them is dressed in work clothes.
I'm taking it out. You tell everybody else I'm taking my earpiece out. Go ahead.
One of them is dressed in work
Tell my
clothes
audience I'm not listening.
from the 1930s, which would be an old apparel.
Yeah.
I'd say we're a worker in a mill. And also there's one who may be the boss. He's dressed in a suit and he's making demands. So we're good. I'll leave it at that. So you're good now.
Okay. I was like, I think he's about done. But yeah, I'm glad I put my earphones in tonight. It helps my audio with this phone because I shoot everything from my S22 Ultra, everything, I run my whole channel, everything from it. It works. And then he's got the S24. That's what we'll be shooting with. And there's like night shots on this phone that I can like light up the night.
Nice.
So yeah, and then I think we'll have enough. But yeah, super exciting. I'm excited.
A little bit disappointed. Angel, I know you're watching. I'm disappointed, buddy. So I really wanted you to meet Ruth. And he told me that Ruth has something else to do, so she won't be coming. And meet Angel, of course. And I don't think Angel, he said Angel, you left. I feel like you're not coming, man. But it's okay. I'm not upset. And he said he may come. We'll see. So I was hoping you would definitely get to meet them guys because Angel's awesome.
I'm sure I will soon. We're closer than I thought. I mean, it's only like 3 hours to the beach from where I'm at, but we're closer to each other than I figured. So I'm sure one day I'm hoping once this tax season comes in, maybe soon. I still have to take care of all that. I'm hoping to try to get a vehicle. If I can take care of some other stuff, I'm going to try my best to get some type of car. And then that way,
we got to help Chastity get a good, dependable car. It's got to happen.
Yep. Yeah. I need just and when I have my tax money come in, anybody in the North Carolina area, if you know anybody like a little old grandma that has a car that sat there for a while and it's fine, I need to know, and I will put out the beacon call, preferably enough to fit 5 people in.
We were thinking a black van, man. We were going to rear up and put your name on the side of it.
I could do it. You know what? I would do a black van. Honestly, I'm not the soccer mom type, but if I could like deck it out and have it,
no. We're talking about like a 15 passenger van, not like a minivan.
Oh, let's do it. I'll gut that some bitch. I'd gut it. It'd be a livable van. You know what I'm saying? I'd be living in that bitch outside my house. So when my kids drive me nuts, I'll go out there and be like, I'm gone.
I love it. We talked about getting a van. We were talking about we joke about it all the time about getting a white van, and we're riding around someplace, in some old neighborhood, and somebody think we're a bunch of damn pedophiles or something. Yeah, in some unmarked white van.
Yeah, y'all walk out looking like Ghostbusters. You have to go ahead and get you the.
So we will have. So we're still we're looking another 1 or 2 people in case somebody wants to go. I'll put it out there.
Okay.
I was kind of counting on Angel bringing 3 or 4. It may just be him, or he may not come at all. So
how many people total do we have?
we probably around. Let's see, it'd be me, you, and Dylan's 3.
Yeah.
Her and her fiance's 5.
And
Brad's that's 3. We got
and
8. So
Perfect.
we can and look, that's enough. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
but we got some room if somebody wants to hop in.
Yep.
And sometimes a big crowd is not good for us. We talked about that this weekend. We especially when we go to places that we've been before that are very active, and we take people and it's not quite as active. So
well, we've never been here, so
no, we've never been here. Look, I'm not worried about it at all. I know for a fact we're gonna get some action. I'm not worried.
Oh yeah, I think so. I
Anything
think.
this old,
Say it
the
again.
history. The history. This
Yeah.
place is old, so we're gonna have some action.
Yeah, and it's native land too. It has to be. I know it is because I'm really starting to think about like the elemental energies, and those are the energies that you want to be very careful with.
Absolutely.
can I
That's the
provoke
energy
them?
you don't want. Huh?
I don't think you have to provoke.
Oh no, I don't. I won't be. You can provoke on the other side of the 70 acres. I'll stay over there. Yeah, I don't. I mean, provoking. There's provoking in different levels, right? But as far as being negative, nasty, it's not the best idea.
Yeah.
We've learned our lesson with that.
Trust
Yeah.
me, I know.
Nope.
We
No.
learned our lesson.
What are we? Oh, it says Lisa says, "What are we talking about?" So this weekend is the investigation at Henry River Mills, and we're going with about, we'll say, 8 to 10 people if somebody else shows up, I guess, and 70 acres there. I don't know a whole lot. They've talked more about it without me because I'm going to be channeling in for my part. And I think we're all going to kind of be in a video or filming together and hanging out together, but then we're going to separate at some point or something like that. And because it's 70 acres. So I'm excited.
I don't know how much of the 70 acres are accessible.
Yeah.
I do
Right,
know that
true.
there were 30 some odd houses there, and I know most of them are dilapidated.
Yeah.
They don't even want us to go in, but there are some they're going to let us go in very
Nice.
carefully. But like I said, there's 70 some odd acres, and if it's grown up, I'm not interested. I just feel like between the river and the mill that's there and the houses close to the mill, I think we'll get all the action we want.
Exactly. And basically the theory is we'll be able to split up enough to do like solo stuff and not be so overwhelmed or intimidating to any spirits that will come, guys. So y'all will see hopefully in the videos, and we're going to try to we need to put out a call for an editor for y'all so y'all can get you some videos out.
I know, right? We got it's crazy the videos that we have, and we're gonna get it. I'm gonna quit harping on it. We're gonna make it happen. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, I feel good about that for sure.
I do too.
So Brad, the one you described his room to a T, he and his daughter are coming, so you get to meet him, and they're cool people.
Is he still a skeptic?
He is. He has. He has to see. So I'm hoping that we do have some good communication.
Yeah,
I was the same way. I do believe now. But look, I after all that said, I still catch myself trying to figure out. I debunk.
Yeah,
it's just a habit. I'm like, I'll tell you. I'm going to show you why it's not real, and sometimes I can't. And sometimes I can't. So that's just part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's what we're doing this weekend, folks. And again, I'll just briefly say I unfortunately have to hop off here in just a couple of minutes. Oh, there's Duran.
What's going on, Duran?
What's up?
Hi. How you guys
How you doing?
Doing excellent.
Oh, we hear you, man. That's a good start. We hear you.
Hey.
I thought it was just Riley, me and Riley the other night.
They want me to speak out today.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good.
And there's no big bright lights like aliens come to get you.
I'm not getting beamed up.
Not tonight.
So, Duran, what do you think about Chastity going on her first investigation this weekend?
Oh man, that's gonna be wild. I think Chassis. I think two things. This is could probably wear you out, especially the first time because all the energies. But man, you're gonna have a hell of a lot of fun though. No,
Awesome.
I know you are. You're gonna have a lot of fun doing this, and you're gonna absorb so much information from this.
It's going to be a reading rainbow moment, you think, where like
Yeah,
stuff's going to start shooting out of my head, and
I feel like
yeah,
it's gonna be an
yeah,
overload.
it'll be
yeah,
reading rainbow ghost edition.
I tell
yeah.
you what I'm looking forward to is you enlightening us of everything we're missing. That's what I'm looking forward to that
That's
because I
my
know
goal.
we get so excited. There's no telling what we miss.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's my goal. I'm going to be happy to do that. And, I think it is. I have a feeling I'll probably sleep very well. I do have a live at 7 p.m. with 305 Paranormal the following day. So I will have to get my sorry slab ass up and do that. But besides that, I ain't doing nothing.
Hey, that's when you just need to smoke the devil's lettuce.
The
Oh,
devil's lettuce.
and we'll be 420.
I love how she says that.
The devil's lettuce. I think
She
my
says,
sister I sent her a meme or not a meme. I sent her a voice message one time being silly, and I was like, "Do you partake in the smoking of the devil's lettuce?" I don't know how I did it, but it was funny.
That's funny.
Anyways, but no, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to do my very best. There'll be some spiritual routines and practices that I do prior. There'll be to leaving. There'll be some of those I do when I get there, and there'll be some things I do when I get before I leave and when I get home. I hope that it goes all well. I'm not fearful at all. I will stand out in the middle of the dark and hold my arms like this. If
mhm.
something moves, generally I'll turn, but it's very, very, very hard to scare me. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just from experience. Like if I see something, but if something scares me, y'all better get to stepping. Okay. I'm just
All we
saying, y'all
gotta
better
do,
run.
all we gotta do is beat Riley.
Hey,
I'll just hold Daddy's ankle. And he can
my
pull me.
first investigation, I wasn't scared. I was more like excited. Like, I don't know how you explain what kind of excitement it was. It was that scared excitement. Like I'm so excited for something to try to scare me because I kind of lightweight wanted it, if that makes
Oh yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's that
I,
thrill of like this is actually happening. I'm actually gonna do this, and I'm actually might catch something physically on camera. It's just
yeah.
absolutely.
I
it's
know
that
that
excitement.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all new territory for me in a place where I'm going to deliberately do it. Like again, I've done house calls a little bit, a tiny bit, and then I've had my own haunting experiences. But I mean, I've had things stand beside my bed, like the doll behind him. That's the one I had that we talked about last week. I had that girl in between awake and asleep state come up and stand beside my bed and like grab my leg, and she was there. And it
Oh,
was like in my
yeah.
room, and I was like, all right, bitch, you got to go.
Uh,
So I'm
yeah.
excited to see what
Yeah.
happens. I really am. I want to get a little scared, like honestly, like I don't want to get terrified. I don't want to get, it's not like I'm trying to bring anything negative or nasty, but I hope that I do get kind of more of that adrenaline rush because I come into this kind of stuff. So it's like almost a peaceful, it's a calm, it's a certain presence that I bring that comes over me when I do this type of work, and it means business. And it's a part of me, but it's spirit, it's divine spirit. So
But yeah. But
You
yeah, I don't
remember
want none of that smoke.
what you gotta, that's a big that's not that's the God's lettuce there, ain't it?
so
Or
you
no, that's
remember
Salenite.
you remember that video of this selenite stick being tossed, kind of moved to the side? I had the
Mm-hmm.
same one right beside Angela. So
That's that
Oh
yeah,
God.
boy.
so
That
I
you
always
got
kind of
over.
Oh
keep
yeah.
an eye on it and see if it's moved at all, but she hasn't moved any of the stones at all yet. But I kind of feel like they like to do it more when I'm nearby because they want my attention.
Absolutely.
And they like to knock the selenite stick that I keep on the top of my door frame, and it gets thrown at my door all the time. Yeah, they like to throw
Wow.
my crystals around the house all the time.
Mm.
That's crazy.
They do
Yeah.
that though. I mean, like I've not experienced that like I mean, as far as crystals moving, yes. Crystals have a mind of their own, and I think spirits do sometimes move them, but like you will get crystals, and if you have quite, I have a pretty good collection, nothing crazy, but especially smaller ones, they'll just end up everywhere
Yeah.
somehow. That's just part of, I
Because
don't
crystals
get
are
it.
alive. They're fully conscious.
Fair enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, you taught me
Some of
something.
them,
I can,
they probably are moving because they're they're capable of it, and it's no surprising with the selenite though, whether if it was consciously moving itself or if something else moved it, because it's a high frequency crystal. It gives out, it's an energy amplifier, so entities are going to be drawn to it. It gives it good energy, but because it's an energy amplifier, that thing's going to be charged and ready to be moved around. I mean, they're if the spirit is strong enough to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
that's super cool.
what's crazy is about the selenite stick being thrown at my door. I tested it, I bumped it, tried to bang it off the wall, and it would not budge. And it's got weight. And it's perfectly squared, so it's like flat, so it wouldn't slide or anything. But I even kind of moved it off, just kind of bumped to see if it would even hit my door at all, because this thing was tossed at my door like pretty hard, and it just bounced off the ground and didn't go near the door. But
That's
this thing
crazy.
would have to be taken off and then thrown at the door. Absolutely
Yeah,
crazy.
I was
that
just
is
trying to
crazy.
judge Cassidy.
It's almost like I do see an arm, but I'm having a hard time placing exactly what's doing it. It's almost like I see an arm and that's it,
Yeah.
but it's green.
Oh.
Green.
That's the first thing I saw. I could be off. I'm not completely tapped, but it was like,
Well, I could tell you things that I've seen. I've seen so much stuff at the front of my door in my bedroom because they like to go right there. That's as far as they usually go because I create a barrier right there. And I have like sweetgrass, I got tourmaline and selenite creating a grid right at my doorway.
good
And
idea.
so they just kind of like peek in my door and I could see them, like I'll have my door cracked and I'll see these little gray ETs sometimes and they'll come up to my door and there's a bunch of them like just trying to look over each other's shoulders and you could see their big eyes blink, 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 blink like that. And I've
That's
seen
crazy.
ETs that look like big white phantoms and they're just sides just drifting like that. And they got this long jaw and like their eyes are glowing and it just looks like this white phantom, almost look like a Halloween prop. It's weird.
I've
I've seen
seen
a
things
lot
like
of weird
that.
things. Yeah, it's I've seen a lot of things at my doorways. Doorways are easy access points for entities to come in and out. That anything
Yeah,
with like an arch or a threshold are huge hotspots.
Hello,
absolutely. And
Zoe.
oh, hey, hey, V, he's over there somewhere. He's somewhere around here in this house. That's my fiance.
Uh,
But yeah,
Oh, God.
basically, I can tell you why, and well, not 100% why, but I'll give everybody listening an example. When I see in between realms, and I go into different realms to do the walkthroughs because I go either like the mirror realm, right, or lower, or
yeah,
mirror realm and higher, right? So when I go into like the astral realm, that's a mirror of earth. The things that hold energy and that create structures are there. So if I'm to walk through somebody's house, I see doorways, I see things like the couches, I see things where people spend a lot of time, and I have a theory
Yeah.
that that's due to energy shedding, which is a term. Maybe, I don't know if anybody's ever, I'm kind of coining that term called energy shedding. I don't know if somebody has already, but that's kind of what's happening here. Like my dog kennel for my dog, there was times when I had to put her in the kennel when we left because she would chew up stuff, my older dog, and she's passed
Yeah.
now, and she didn't like it. So she shedded a lot of energy in there and anxiety, like, when's mommy coming home, right? Well, that dog kennel was
Yeah.
there when I walked through there one night, actually through like an astral projection. And one of the times that I really remember coming up out of my body, but I don't come up out of my body like that. It's totally different when I do my spiritual walkthroughs. But even when I go to somebody's house and get in that mirror world, because they literally slip into this type of realm or dimension, that's how the ghosts interact with you, or other things. They slip in through a doorway within this dimension, and things can be wonky. But it's like, people have asked me, when you remote view, can you see my mess? Can you see my dirty dishes? I'm like, no, because they don't hold like residual energy. It's
Yeah.
really more like an energetic realm, just like we are, but it's not as dense as we are.
Yeah.
So that's what
Uh,
that's from what Duran was saying. I just felt the need to explain that. And that's just like, I don't know if that's just one realm, and there's multiple ones like that, but there's one standard one that they are able to react and deal with us, because when I'm in this realm, I can actually see sometimes where people are. So like when I go to my client, and I did a client session where I helped him, he was possessed. It was pretty bad, and I can't really go in a lot of detail. But when I finally went to do like the full house clearing, I asked her where he was. He was in the bed asleep, and and there was a snake curled up beside of him on the bed. And when I
Really?
walked in the room, that
Mm.
snake was like, it was a rattlesnake, right? And by the time I was done, that some bitch was belly up on the floor and dissolved. So, I mean, the
Mhm.
things that I've seen, not ever, and it's not me, this is not ego, I'm just being 100% factually honest. It's terrifying, and I know Duran can back me up on that, because he's seen
yeah,
some crazy stuff too.
100. Yeah,
I'm sorry,
100.
And some
Duran.
things are great.
I didn't tell everybody. So this is Duran with Dead Serious Investigations. You're out in California, so
Yeah.
you're 6 o'clock there now.
Yes. Yes,
All right,
sir.
cool. So he was kind enough. Chastity got us hooked up with him to let us on his live last Thursday night.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you getting on. But yeah, so
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
so Chastity, tell me about what you were just saying earlier. You said you can see different realms.
Yeah, depending on the
Can
work that
you
I'm doing.
can
I
you
mean,
choose like which realm to go in? Is that what you were saying? The upper
it
or the
it
lower?
depends on the work that I'm doing. And it's spiritual permissions that you have to get, that are kind of unspoken, and that's all determined, in my opinion, by my guides and what I'm doing. But like when I was looking into the Waverly Hills Sanatorium out in
Yeah.
Kentucky, there was a
We're
realm
going.
there that's, I'm getting it's so dark. It is so dark. It's much lower than just the realm I go through when I remote view. There's like, for me, this is going to be different for everybody. For me, there's like the mirror realm, the remote viewing realm, where I can kind of go and visit, and it's like an energy signature of the
Yeah.
collective of the world. And then there's the realm of like sleeping, when when you astral project. And then there's multiple realms, you can access, and during meditation and sleeping, you're going, in my opinion, just,
Uncapable. Right.
otherworldly things. And then you have like the upper realm. So after I did my clearing of that snake entity, I've shared this before, it was very powerful, because it's like everything popped up around me in 3D, if I could describe it. And I had my eyes open, but I was still, it's like having psychic visions. I was still here, and I can talk to you and function or whatever, but everything popped up around me 3D as I closed the portals, and
Hmm.
isolated and stuff. And I need to be very careful. I don't need to tell too much, because I don't want people trying this. This isn't for everybody, and it's something that, even if I teach, it won't be anything that I teach to just anybody. So I'll stop there. But point is, I'm able to go into these different places and see different things, and my spirit guides are the ones that do 90% of the work. I don't even probably do 10% of it. They do most of it, because I have a spirit team. So when I send a spirit as part of my spirit team to somebody's house, they're literally like beings of golden white light, and their outline is golden, and they shine like white, and
That's
they are
awesome.
higher benevolent beings. But when I finish that, my whole body, like when people astral project, they vibrate, but I was totally awake. My body started vibrating, not like a zzz, it just felt that way. And I shot up through space, through a tunnel, and landed in like this big
That's
light
great.
realm. There were people there that greeted me that looked exactly the same. And because I did it in Jesus's name, and in this vision I
Yeah.
had 100% awake, I landed at his feet and thanked him. And it was surreal. That was one of the most powerful experiences I ever had. And like I landed at his feet and thanked him for helping me, because after I did that for that guy, if they have problems now, it's because everything, there's things that clients have to take care of. We can't do all that for them. We can only help. But after that day, the snake went belly up. And it could have looked different to somebody else, but that's just my intuitive perception. When the snake went belly up, by day, he got better and better. And he's, as far as I know now, last time I heard, no news is good news. He's fine.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
it started with him singing. Like the wife was very adamant of helping him. She recorded him and showed him, and it
Thank
like
you
brought him
so
out.
much, Wanderlust.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Wanderlust is awesome. Thank you for being here. I got everybody too in the chat. There's like 10 people in the chat. Wanderlust is over there. And Duran, are you recording, or are you just on? Are you channel swapping?
I'm just
All hanging out. Okay.
yeah.
Well, and unfortunately though, I'm over time. But if y'all have
Yeah.
any questions about that, I'll answer it before I go, because I do have to go.
I appreciate
No,
you.
you don't.
Hey,
You got all night.
Yeah.
I got a question, Chastity.
Sure.
Are you ready for this weekend?
Yeah. Definitely. For sure. Hoping this time I got to stoop and bend and bend over and pull.
Oh, wait, Chastity, I do have another question. My father just reminded me.
What's that?
He wants to know if your sister's going to make it.
No. Let's forget that. He doesn't want
No,
to.
she's not going. Bless her heart. She can't, because she's got to work 14 hours. But my sister is at her age. She's very sentient, so she picks up stuff through her hands and her feet, and she's still trying to learn how to navigate through that. So she was like, it's probably not the best idea after 14 days of working straight. So she's going to be resting that day. But I knew that was coming. I'm psychic. I just won't say nothing.
Chastity.
That's all we heard on the way home this weekend.
I
believe it.
Chastity. That's funny, Chastity, because I got $200 in my wallet. It says she probably will call out of work and come.
Well, she's like, my Venmo is done. I'm kidding. Just joking. But anyways, yeah, guys, thank everybody for being here. I would like to encourage the people that are watching me, if you want to continue watching, I'm sure they've got a lot they're going to talk about. Head over to Down South Supernatural's either Facebook or YouTube page, and you can continue watching there. I'm actually getting ready to finish getting ready and film for Lights at Midnight, and I've got to film my class video. So I'm getting ready to release all that information in the next day or two. But thank y'all for having me. It's good to see you, Duran. Until next time.
All right, Chastity.
Bye,
Chastity.
Bye.
See you this weekend. Hey, buddy.
And there she goes.
All right.
So look, now you had me going there. You were talking about protecting that doorway.
Oh yeah. So
you make me feel like me and Riley, man. There's no telling what we got in here with us right now. We don't even know. All the stuff we've brought in here.
And that's the thing, as paranormal investigators, you never know what you bring, because we can't see in the invisible space. We're not, I'm not, between the three of us, we're not spiritual mediums. We're not clairvoyant. So we don't know this. And so because of that, we have to prepare ourselves for anything. And when it comes to like when I paranormal investigated, and especially these haunted objects, because I live with haunted objects in my own home, I have to make sure all of our sleeping spaces are primarily the most protected areas, because when you are in a deep sleep, you are most vulnerable, because not only the slowdown of heart rate, but so with the slowness of your heart rate, which I'll get to the whole heart thing. I don't know how much you guys know about like the chakras.
Not zero for me. I know nothing.
Okay, so I'll ease you guys into that another time, because it gets really complicated with that. So basically, like, to summarize it, when you're in a deep sleep, you start to you're basically, you sink into the collective consciousness. You basically, when you're in this state, your third eye is wide open. In other words, when
Yeah.
your third eye is wide open, that means everything could see you. And when they have access to you like that, and you're in that state, they could manipulate your dreams and use those dreams to get to your thoughts or the way you think.
Oh wow.
They could cause you to think that your husband or wife is cheating on you by manipulating you with these weird false dreams, and turn you against each other. They've been known to use dreams to tear families apart. They use your dreams to constantly put you in a state of fear, so that way you don't want to go back to sleep. And then what happens when you don't get sleep? You get pissed.
Oh yeah.
So you start to get aggravated with each other. So there's a lot of a usage for using the living in their sleep state, especially people that have abilities of astral projection. Then you're starting to encounter actual entities face to face.
Yeah.
That's when things get really dangerous for people that are gifted. But regardless, when you're getting your dreams manipulated, it really could affect you mentally. And then so it starts there, and then once they are basically, they feel invited in your room, uh, it's it's an invade. It makes you really uncomfortable. You feel unsafe sleeping in your own room. Yet alone when you start to feel unsafe being in your own home. I mean, feeling unsafe to sleep in your own room is a whole nother level of
Yeah.
discomfort. So, but to keep things at bay, I use sweetgrass. Not only is this good to use as cleansing, like you could burn it and you could
Mm.
cleanse your space like sage, this
Yeah.
sweetgrass attracts high vibrational beings, and it's like literally the opposer of negative things. This thing attracts the good and pushes away the bad. And I created a grid with a simple stick of selenite like this, but not as big as this one.
Yeah.
Stick of selenite and black tourmaline, which I could show you right here. Black tourmaline like this, and
Okay.
connecting them together, because this is an absorber. This is an absorbing stone. It absorbs negative energies and blocks. This is what demons are afraid of. Things of demonic of nature. They don't want to go near this stone because they could get absorbed into it.
What's it called?
It's called black tourmaline. I could send you guys
It's a stone.
like the information. But yeah, black tourmaline.
Oh,
There's different
Wow.
kinds, but I use black tourmaline particularly because it absorbs negative energies and is
okay.
extremely important. Because now, if you're trying to invoke any kind of angelic beings, I wouldn't recommend working with that using while you're doing that, because those beings could get absorbed into the crystal by mistake. So I only use it when connecting it with my selenite to create this grid where the only things that could pass through are things of very high frequency. Anything
Yeah.
that is trying to come through that is earthbound or negative in nature, that meaning like lower fourth dimension, cannot pass through, and they're not going to want to, because they don't want to get absorbed or be harmed by this thing. That's why they try to shift my crystals around to see if they could get it to fall. But I've
Wow.
noticed the
Yeah.
pattern that only the selenite stick's been getting thrown, not the black tourmaline, the one that's highly unstable up there. Because the selenite is perfectly flat. The black tourmaline's all lumpy and easy to fall off, but that's never fallen off once. And it's because they don't want to touch that. They're trying to use the selenite to knock it down, but they keep knocking the selenite down.
I see what you're
Wow.
saying.
Yeah, so that's what I think what's going on. So, but that just validates to me that it's working. So I just
Yeah.
put it right back up there and let it go back to work. Plus the selenite, it cleans your crystals. So because your crystals
Okay.
absorb stuff and you want to clean them. So I use selenite. I even have a selenite pad up here. I just put my crystals on there and recharge them because they and the selenite will actually clean the crystal, all the negative emotions and negative bad juju out of the stones.
How
So
about
you,
that?
We are
so
so
you
far
want,
behind.
Yeah,
I mean,
we are.
yeah, uh, yeah,
it's scary to me. It's a little bit scary to me to know what Riley and I and Dylan and David have been through, not knowing really, what's
yeah,
really going on.
oh yeah,
The things that we didn't hear or we didn't see.
mhm.
Yeah.
Because we probably would probably really worry us.
Yeah, it would scare the heck out of us.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys want to know like about crystals like in detail and make things not too complicated, like there's like this book right here. I still study it. There's so much information on every crystal, and it tells you the attributes of those crystals, like the compounds, all sorts of stuff. And it's the Crystal Bible by Judy Hall. A very, very good Crystal Bible. I you can't expect to learn everything in there, but there's
Right.
specific stones that you're going to be drawn to that are pretty commonly easy and not too expensive to get a hold of that you're going to
Okay.
be
Yeah.
interested in there. I could give you guys a list of really important stones that won't cost you a heap of money.
V is up. V, we see what you're saying. He said he's been thumped, poked, scratched, and bruised. He said
Oh
he's a
wow.
target because of what Chastity does, her work. I could see that happening.
Wow.
That's
Um,
crazy.
wow. Um, what so what is he getting is has the spirit been identified yet, or
I
is
don't
it
know,
something
V.
that
Has
he's
I
attached to
feel
him,
like
or
Chastity probably identified it. I don't know. You would think. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Tell us
and
more, V.
that's pretty brutal.
That is brutal.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
we've been. I think everyone in our party has. You know what? I have not been scratched. I have been pushed down on the floor. I'm
Mhm.
not too. Uh, I'm not happy about it, but it happened, and it kind of needed to happen because I was at a point where I didn't believe Riley's been scratched. I don't know, man, more times than he can probably count.
Yeah.
He's been. You were shoved not long ago. He got
I've
pushed up against the wall,
I've
but
been thrown up against the wall by it felt like the force of a grown ass man.
yeah.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we were in it. All of this took place in the same house on different times, but
Dang.
it's very very. I mean, it's just a lot of negative energy.
Yeah.
So
So
that happened at the same place in two different investigations.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
Every time we've been to that one place, there's something. Somebody gets scratched. Somebody gets touched.
Dang.
And it's usually me, sadly.
It has happened to him more than
Yeah.
Dylan. I don't know if you know Dylan. Dylan is one of our team members, and Dylan's a big guy, and
Yeah.
he's been scratched and touched there also. So it's not going after the little guy or nothing like that. It's
Yeah.
just it's whoever it can intimidate at the moment. I feel like.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I haven't been scratched too much, but at the Marysville house, I got scratched behind my ear, like in my ear cartilage, and it was a really sensitive spot because there's no real like it's just skin and cartilage. So like it hurt a bit. It was more like a burning, but
Yeah.
right as I was showing Charles this scratch that I didn't know if it was a scratch or not. I just told him I was like, my ear is just burning. And I put the camera on my ear cartilage way back here in this little crease spot. And there's like three little scratch marks forming right there. And it was just when I told Charles, I said, I don't care as long as we keep the vibration up here. And
Right.
Yeah.
when that happened. And also on the EVP, there's a voice right after I said, as long as we keep the vibration up, there's a whisper that says, exactly.
Oh,
Wow.
man, I love
That's right on
EVP.
point. Yeah,
We've been
and that was
we've been doing it well, not a long time, not like most, but sadly we have not been keeping up with EVPs as long as like we have lately. We've been getting some crazy EVPs, and it just makes me
Yeah.
wonder, it makes me wonder the first year and a half or two
If we had kept up with them.
what we were getting and didn't even check it out. So
yeah, I bet you guys got
some
a
of our
whole
followers,
bunch
we
of
talk about it all the time. We now everywhere we go, we keep a recorder running, and it's amazing. We every now and then we just like the other day we got an awesome EVP, and it was so good that I got to play it on our live from the previous weekend. We cleansed the house, and we kept recorder going the whole time, and there was
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, met 6 people in the house, and I could play back parts. You know, we were getting some EVPs and a lot of spirit box communication, but there was one particular point where some of the people who had passed in this home didn't believe a certain thing that someone else had passed, and they didn't want to go to the light. They didn't want to cross over. It was like they were waiting for their daughter. And when we let them know that their daughter had passed, it was like the weight was lifted. And EVP we got within, I'm telling you, am I telling the truth? Within 30 seconds after you hear us talking about that, it said into the gates.
Enter the gate.
And look, the hair just stood up on my arm just thinking about it again. And I played it. I played it intentionally because I already knew nobody heard that, because we would have been talking about it right there live when we were there. So, and I played it, and I was like, so all you who were there this weekend, did you hear that? You know, nobody heard that. It was a legit, amazing EVP.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's probably the best one I feel like we've gotten.
Yeah,
It validated what we were trying to do. Cleansing the house and get the negative energy out.
Yeah,
so it was good to us.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I've got at the Marysville house, the same place that I got that whisper exactly, and where I got scratched. There was a moment where I'm in the room, I'm in the dining room, so bedroom over here where I have the EVP recorder, and then out of the room you got to go out the door in the hallway, and then you turn, and then the living room is there, and then the dining room is kind of connected to the living room. We're in the dining room, far from this kid's room, right? And so we're talking, and you can hear how far away our voices are. This is the thing that just baffles me, because we're the only 2 living people in this house, and the EVP recorder is sitting in this kid's room, and you hear like this type of breathing that sounds like someone's like struggling to breathe, but it's more like it sounds like almost like a goblin or some type of ghoul like breathing. It's like like that.
God.
Oh yeah.
And you could hear stuff like you could hear it moving in the room. You could hear something moving around in there, and you hear this breathing with it. It is so disturbing. Yeah, I was like, this is really disturbing. This family is sleeping in this house every day. And it's just, man,
That's the
brutal.
wild part about it is when you know someone's been there, and and the validation you get when people start telling you things that they're experiencing in their house. And like I've said more than one time, you know, I'm a show me. I don't believe it. I hear you, really. I hear you, and I want to believe you, but show me. So when you start getting the communication of the EVPs and when you're running a couple of spirit boxes and they're all interacting and bringing you the same information, what other kind of validation do you need?
Exactly. Uh, and then that video I sent you guys, I think what 2 days ago, the SLS footage of
Oh
Pam.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That one still baffles me because of the intelligence of the spirits in that doll and how I created that grid, and it
Yeah.
showed that it really struggled on getting through that grid.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That grid that I created around Pam, it struggled on getting out. Like it was trying, and then it was, and what it was actually trying to reach for, that I ended up finding out, it was trying to reach for the EM pump. It was wanting some of that energy from it,
Oh
so
yeah.
it could do more stuff. And then it stops at the EM pump floating right there on the wall, and then it disappears and returns back into Pam, and then disappears. It's just
That's
crazy.
wild. That's wild.
Yeah. And what it takes this resembled this tall creature, like being like the, I mean, the stick figure that thing mapped out was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like as big as this shelf, like
We,
easily, or even taller. And then at the end, it like literally took up the whole screen, like super close to me.
wow.
It was really
That's
crazy, but
intimidating. Yeah, that's
yeah,
intimidating.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what it was trying to do.
that doll is not shy. It starts doing hella stuff when people are around. It's usually a lot of objects. They'll try to be quiet and kind of like mess with people quietly, more quietly, and it's kind of the dangerous thing with haunted objects is the manipulation involved with some of them. Is they kind of lure people to get like to think they're just an object, like they're just a toy, and get people close to them to touch them. And once you touch them, even not having any type of attachment to it, you're getting that residual energy signature attached to your hands, and then you're bringing that already starts to become a part of your aura, and you bring that
Wow.
home with you, and that could affect you karmically, or you could suffer from nightmare problems, who knows what, however which way that entity chooses to run that energy off on you.
So
um
it's funny you say that because one of the houses we're speaking of that everybody's been scratched and pushed at one time or another after 3 or 4 investigations there. One of our members went one time, and for 1 week straight, this girl does not have nightmares, and she had nightmares every night, and it was the same dream she was having, and it was things that were happening in that home to her, and she has some psychic abilities that she's dealing with and trying to learn, and man, it was playing games with her. So yeah, I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't kind of been experiencing it and going through it with somebody. So
yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely crazy. What's funny is some of my astral projected experiences I've always thought were dreams. I've only recently discovered that I have been astral projecting for years.
Mm,
Um, and and it makes total sense of a lot of things that really connect. And one of the interesting things that I notice about a most common thing about my experiences when I do this is the dream or this experience that I'm in, everything's kind of dim lit, but there's only this glow of light that I could see in my surrounding, but everything else is dark. And like, say I'm astral projected in my own house, but everything has like a glow, like a very dim glow, like almost like a moonlight, but I don't see any moon. There's no fluorescent light. There's no lights. Like, where's this little light coming from? But everywhere I turn, the light is the same distance, and when I walk, the light is the same distance. It's as if the light is being emitted by my aura, by my energy field.
oh yeah,
Wow.
And this
Okay.
is a common thing that I've noticed when I'm astral projected, and I'll be more consciously aware of what I'm doing. And then, like a normal dream would be like you wake up and you've already forgotten what you dreamt about 5 seconds after you woke up.
That's
So,
crazy. That's
That is
crazy.
crazy.
and then sometimes like I've even told Chastity this before. I've had dreams where I know when I'm ready to go back. I'll be like, okay, I know right when I go past this part, it's time for me to wake up, and I need to get going. So I go back and then I wake up, or I'll tell myself, I'm like, all right, my alarm's about to go off. It's time to go. So I'll go, and then my alarm goes off like 2 seconds after I wake up, and then all of a sudden I'm like looking over at my phone, then bing, the phone lights up and starts going off.
Wow.
And
Somebody
I know a
text me.
lot of people do this, and they don't even realize that they're astral projecting.
So I've never heard of that
Yeah,
until now. So we're learning so much, and I'll be like you said, kind of like the crystals. You can't learn it all; it takes time. But
exactly.
there's so much to learn. It gets out there too. So you got to be open minded. I do.
Yeah, I always like to have this on my hand, especially during lives. This is my labradorite stone. It's got so many properties to it, blocks negative energies, also access to higher realms and stuff like that. So it's a very
Yeah.
good knowledge stone too, and a grounding stone to keep you grounded. Uh, when going out investigating as an investigator, grounding is extremely important. Um, the grounding protects your aura. So when you're going out and investigating, when you're grounded, uh, that is very intimidating to negative spirits. So the chances of you bringing any runoff or kickback are much unlikely than a normal
Yeah.
person would be going on an investigation. Um, however, these protective practices doesn't make you invincible. Um,
Right.
there's a lot of people that take this information in wrong, and they are like, if I do this, nothing will happen to me. No one's invincible. So there's things that I always meet my match and then some in a lot of investigations, and it's always a constant reminder of that humbleness where I have so much to learn. So
Yeah.
and as much as I know a fraction of everything. So
Yeah, see, that's scary. That just shows you where me and Riley are, because we're learning a lot. So
yeah,
we got a lot to learn, and I guess our the fact that we don't know a lot maybe why we get so much communication.
Yeah.
That we're getting. I feel like we get tried. We're getting
Yeah.
taken advantage of,
mhm.
and we don't run from it. So things just happen.
And I'll
Those-
tell you this, the more you start learning about uh this stuff, and especially as a demonologist, the more I studied demonology, the more, like, when I took pictures, photographs, I started catching a lot of unhuman things. A
ah,
lot more inhuman things start surfacing, is because when you start to know a lot of this stuff, you start to actually glitch things to our reality. You start to become the glitch of the matrix. You start to be that person that where these certain types of entities can't hide from, and you start to break them the surface when you're around. And I've had a lot of mediums actually tell me, they're like, some of these beings wouldn't be able to be caught on camera if you particularly were not there.
mm,
So it's like, in a way, it's because as the knowledge kind of surfaces things up, so it thins the veil. It's kind of also why the importance of spreading awareness in the paranormal, and increasing consciousness, because the more our frequency raises here on our planet, the more of that veil thins out, and we start knowing truth more.
no doubt. Riley, Barb wants to know what's the craziest thing you've caught or heard.
The
Ooh.
craziest thing
There's been a
I've
lot. I
caught.
can name a pile, but I don't know what's the wildest thing you've got your attention.
My craziest story this far was probably in Georgia when We had equipment cases slamming on us by unseen forces. We had
a lot of poltergeist
Yeah.
activity going on
I
in one home.
somebody. It felt like somebody came up beside me and blew as hard as they could in my ear. Yeah,
And
all in the same night.
and probably, well, I'm not talking for you, so I'll shut up. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah,
Something got my attention in that house too.
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean,
What about the lady in the window that we caught on camera?
yeah, at that house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we actually had a video, Duran, of in this house in Georgia. We had cameras running 24 hours for 2 days. We just let them run, and they were in 6 or 7 different rooms of the home. Well, this one home was known. A lot of things have happened in this room, so we really set up in it really hard. And out of all people, Dylan, one of our teammates, he slept in that room
All night long.
and so nothing bothered him. I mean, he slept. Maybe there was a reason behind it. He slept heavy. He's like, dude, I really slept great. You know, he slept good, and you can see it. We had a video of him on the bed, a camera pointed at him on the bed, and a camera on the other side of the room pointed at things you couldn't see in the room.
Yeah.
So it was so wild. So, you know, maybe 3 weeks. This is how bad we are, okay? And we are getting better. It may have been more like a month later. We decided to look at the video. We hadn't even looked at the video, okay? And we in that room one night, we could see the bed shake. Dylan is dead asleep. One camera showing Dylan dead asleep, okay? He's snoring. And chest is moving up and down. The other camera is showing the back side of the bed that we couldn't see while looking at Dylan. And we see the covers move a little bit on the bed. Doesn't bother Dylan. Naturally, we thought Dylan just moves his leg. Okay. Dylan didn't move at all. About 2 seconds, 3 seconds later, you see a person in white, all white. Dude, the hair standing up on my arm again.
Yeah.
And a lady walks across the room wearing all white with the natural black hair.
Wow.
No doubt. And stands over the bed and looks at him. And we see her reflection in the window of the other camera. And we see her walk away, takes like 2 steps and disappears.
Yeah.
So naturally, and there were some other weird things that happened in this video also. Namely, we set a stuffed animal in the chair in here that said to rock during the day. We've seen videos of this chair just start rocking with no one in this rocking chair.
Yeah.
So we we took a stuffed animal intentionally to put in that chair just to see if we thought it'd be cool if we saw the stuffed animal just start rocking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's something that happened we can't explain, and we ended up we were made to take our video down as we started posting a little bit because people would think, no, it was not smoke in the mirror. It was definitely, it wasn't smoke figure at all. It wasn't misty. Look, somebody asked, was it smoke in the mirror? Now I'm taking that as, did it look like a smoke or fog? It did not. It looked like a apparition.
It was a person.
Yeah, no doubt.
And not even an hour after we saw it, or not even an hour before the lady came on the video, I was in that same room upstairs with Dylan, and we both looked out this 2-story window, and we saw Slender Man looking back in at us through that window.
So look, while all this is going on, I'm in another room looking at the video. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm watching all the rooms. None of this I'm telling you I saw. So that stuffed animal I was telling you about, we didn't get it rocking in the chair, but it started disappearing on camera.
Oh.
It was just all of a sudden it's there and it's gone. And it might go and it would reappear in like 2 minutes later. One time it was gone for 20 minutes. And we know it was moving because it was sitting on some blankets The blankets ended up being on the floor. That was so someone told us, said we were editing the video, we were making that happen. We don't even know how, we wouldn't start to know how to do that.
Yeah.
But I tried to debunk it too. I was like, man, there's just something wrong with our recording system. But I can't explain why the covers are on the floor. You know,
Yeah.
something knocked them on the floor also. Anyway, that was a very wild night.
Yeah.
It was.
Man, so he slept through all that?
He slept through every bit of it. Like he said, he slept heavy, and we were like, you know, we saw that thing. I'm gonna call it a thing.
That was a
We know it.
thing.
We know it touched the bed. I couldn't tell if
Yeah.
it touched him,
Right.
but we saw the covers moving, and Dylan's
So-
still laying. He's still laying in the bed snoring.
Yeah.
and he's probably comfortable with that vibrating bed. Putting
Yeah. Uh,
It's the wildest thing. So we had to take all the video down because naturally it looked like we had edited video when we did not.
yeah, we didn't do
And just
anything
to
to
keep
it.
from having a stink, we just took it down. But we still have it, and we're going to
Yeah.
you know get somebody who can take that 48 hours of video and break it down until about 5 minutes of crazy, amazing things that really did happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
man, yeah, that'd be hella cool to see all that.
maybe that might help our YouTube finally take off. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
because we really haven't pushed that like we should.
Yeah, YouTube and Instagram, you'll be able to pick up a big following on Instagram, I feel like too.
Yeah, I didn't realize until we heard you talking about Instagram and Riley last week that we didn't even have an Instagram page. So I made one. We kind of started one off. So we'll see how it
Yeah.
goes. Somebody,
Yeah.
Snowfall Art says, does spirits in white mean they cross over or does it mean something else? I don't
Spirits
know
in
what the
white.
mantra is with spirits in white. I'm not sure.
Well, see, with spirits in white, so now it depends on how you're seeing it. Are you seeing it through an IR where there's no color, or if you're seeing it on a normal spectrum of light, which would be just a regular video, or your regular human eyes?
Yeah.
But with spirits, they project themselves usually in like a white or kind of just like a dark or silhouette, because really to produce any type of color or materialize any color requires a lot more energy for them to manifest those colors.
Right.
So there's a lot of more energy required for any kind of color. So if you get an entity in white, doesn't always necessarily mean like a high ascending being, because there's lower beings that are from lower fourth realms that give out that vibe that's easy on the eyes, but they're actually not good. And so that's where you got a trickster spirit. So, you know,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, that's generally based off what I know, like as far as like why it would be white, or if the person that passed away, maybe they wore white dresses or white t-shirts, you know.
Yeah.
But generally, uh, anything in color, if you could catch something in color, that's like amazingly rare because of how much energy it would cost for them to actually do that.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I've caught some things in color, but they're very translucent, but it's the color's there. And but as far as like super clear like color, it's almost like never.
Yeah.
That must be Dylan said. I'll tell him about the portal that's in that room. So I think that's Dylan was a Facebook user and I can't see his name, but yeah, no doubt there that same room, there's a portal in that room. And,
Oh, I
and
bet.
we've been told more than one time there was, and yeah, I believe it for sure.
Yeah, I would have no doubt about that, especially if so the history in a building, all that residual history in that building could enough, like for all the like the emotions just absorbed in the fibers of those floors and those walls can project all sorts of things in that house and be prone to portals. So a portal being in that room, especially if people are like sleeping in there, are definitely going to be attracted to. It's like the perfect place to for a portal to manifest on.
Man,
So
we've heard
Yeah.
stories afterwards and before we went. The homeowner told us stories of a lady who actually slept in the same bed Dylan was in. That something come through and screamed as loud as it could right in her face. She could see
oh
it,
my
and at
God.
the same time pulled the covers down, and she couldn't get up out of the covers. Was holding her down with the covers. She doesn't see this, but she can't get up, and this thing is just sitting there like with the wildest, nastiest scream, that you could imagine.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's gone, and she was able to get up, and needless to say, she left.
Yeah.
That's now that's terrifying. To get screamed in
Yeah.
the face. Like
Yeah,
that's disturbing.
that's very. I get funny feeling just thinking about it now because
Yeah.
we heard that before we stayed there, and then the fact is we stayed, and the fact that Dylan's got the biggest balls of all. Because we knew all this going into it, and he slept. Not only did he stay in the house, he slept in that damn room.
Like a baby.
I'm telling you, man.
Slept like a baby in
Gee.
there, huh?
And then he slept through it all. That joker, Dylan, you must have took something, or you were just wore out. I don't know. We hadn't figured that one out yet. We do know he's got the biggest balls of our group.
Grande huevos.
That's hilarious. Now,
Yeah,
have you
yeah.
ever heard of this really big mansion here in California called the Winchester Mansion?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, I've been there a lot of times as a kid, but as an adult, I've been there once as an adult, but on like my teenage years, I've made trips out there lots of times with my parents. My mom was really drawn to that place, and we would go out there in trips like once a year. And I remember there's this seance room over there, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I was there during Halloween. I think I was like 14 or 15. And I remember the tour guide, this was a flashlight tour during Halloween. And so all we had was just flashlights there. And the tour
Yeah.
guide was like, all right, so who wants to go first to go in I forgot what she called the room, the hiding room or something like that. It's in the seance room. There's a door on the other side of the seance room that takes you in this room where Sarah Winchester would hide in. And
Oh,
there's no doorknob on the other side of this door. So once you go in, you're like stuck in there until
oh,
you would have to go forward. You can't go back. So
wow.
I went in there, I volunteered, and I go in there, and then she shut the door on me.
That's crazy.
And I just have the flashlight, and
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I was like, no, I was like trying to get back in there, and I look around with the flashlight. She shut the door on me for like a good like 10 seconds.
I've
And I'm like
been
looking
mad.
around with the flashlight, and I just felt like I didn't see anything, but what I felt though, it just felt
Oh
like
yeah.
I had a bunch of like deceased people looking at me at the other side of the room.
Staring at you. Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Mhm. And
Man,
that's exactly what
you
I
got a
felt.
lot of dogs. I didn't notice that. I
Oh
noticed
yeah,
one last week, but I see a lot now.
yeah. Oh my
Oh
God.
yeah.
Dear God.
Yeah. So there's definitely a lot, and I also
Well, tell,
got
tell the viewers one is locked up. There's one there that's locked up.
yeah, there's right here.
Yeah.
Here, let me see if I could get a closer shot. I got my stool in the way. Uh, I don't know if you can see.
So to all the viewers, don't look in that doll's eyes.
Yeah, right in here. Uh,
She'll
Trying to
look
get a
back.
better view of this. See if I could carefully bring. Angela a little bit closer so you could get a better look. This is
Don't take
Angela.
that thing out of its
He
case.
ain't gonna take it out.
Nah, I'm not gonna take this out.
Uh,
That's this is so there's remember the first live we did I was mentioning about two Angela dolls. This is Angela. This is Angela the demon doll.
Mm.
She re what she is representing is a possessed woman. So she's possessed by a demon. And she's a replicated doll sculpted from a vintage doll to look like Angela from this 1980s film called Night of the Demons. I don't know if
Okay.
you've ever heard of that movie, but that's what she was designed to look like. Was gifted to me as horror memorabilia, but turned out that that this doll that this was sculpted from uh, actually had some things surrounding it. And
Oh,
also with it
wow.
resembling that, it's only going to attract low vibrational beings. And those low vibrational beings are most likely things that probably won't be human. And I've
Yeah.
already gotten messages from it by word saying demon, and telling me to don't touch it. And it said demon. I'm like, okay, so there's validation right there. But uh, one thing that I do tell people is when things say demon or devil or Satan or Lucifer, things like that, when those kind of messages come through, I usually take those as grains of salt at a time because a lot of spirits will like to take credit as being that. So a lot
Yeah.
of people think that, oh, I'm dealing with the demon here. Be careful. You're probably giving that spirit way more credit than what it really is, and it wants you to think that. So I've ran into
Yeah.
those situations before, because I get Satan all the time through my Ovilus, all the time on this
Yeah.
thing.
that's funny because we do too.
Yeah. We get,
We get demon, we get devil all the
yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Devil all the time.
yeah.
Hey, I don't think we've ever got Satan, but we get the devil.
Yeah.
We've heard
We
the
get
devil more than one
devil.
occasion. Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty common getting that in paranormal investigations though, because there's a lot of entities that want to scare you out of the premises because they want to give that credit that they want you to think that. So
Yeah.
um there's more sign. It's like when I get that, it's like, okay, you're saying that you're Satan. Okay, I need more proof than that, you know? So I'm not provoking that. Like, I'm just like moving on. I'm not
Yeah.
saying like, well, you got to prove to me that you're saying I just move on to it and move on with my question. I'm like, okay, Satan, okay, that's interesting. Well, let's keep going, you know, because
Don't make a
I
big
haven't got
deal
the
out of
proof yet. I need where, okay, so things demonic in nature, there's going to be those signs. There's instant anxiety. That's a huge sign right there. When I was talking about the
Yeah.
itchy, too hot, like that's a red flag right there.
Yeah.
You got the smells. If you get these bad
Yeah.
rotten meat odors,
So,
and
it. Yeah.
that smell doesn't stay. It like moves around.
yeah.
So it shouldn't be in the same spot. I've had things where it changed the temperature in the room to 666 and stay on that for a while.
Ooh.
And I got that on camera too, where like I brought Roxy, the medium that I was working with. I was like, Roxy, can you come over here real quick? I was like, this thing is temping at 666 over here and it has not moved at all.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of certain signs that I kind of eyeball and analyze about before I start jumping to the conclusion that it's an actual demon. And what's crazy is I've even had like, you know, like you got words out of the Ovilus versus like actual EVP or actual spirits saying the word.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now I've actually had spirits actually say they're Lucifer. Like I've actually heard them say Lucifer, like 100% clear.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so you're Lucifer. Like, all right. And you get the standard voice coming in saying demon. But when I start hearing things like uh manipulating me, like saying like, okay, I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Duran Conrad. Can you tell me who you are and what are you doing here? Like, I'll ask them to introduce themselves.
Right.
And then in response, they'll say introduction in a monstrous voice.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so you want to call yourself introduction because you're trying to troll me for asking you to introduce yourself. So they just name themselves introduction
Uh,
Yeah.
to mess with me. And so I've gotten that at the Marysville house, getting that response introduction. It said this in this gut girdling, growling type voice, and just
yeah.
called itself introduction in response. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's crazy. And then I've gotten some that I've asked repeatedly, "Who are you? What are you?" And
Yeah.
then finally get a response of another demon type voice. Uh, and the reason why I say demon type voice, not that it is a demon, this thing could be originated from this elemental that is also in this household. But it says it in another type of like growly type voice, but this one's more higher pitch, almost
Yeah.
like that goblin-y kind of like voice, and
Yeah.
or gremlin kind of like sound. And it says portal entity. So it named itself as a
Yeah.
portal entity. It's like it doesn't want to disclose its actual name to you because if you actually get names, that's when you start to get leverage over it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to try to it'll try to give you false names all the time. I've gotten most of the time it's simple names like John, Sam, um, Rick, George, all these like simple common human names. It likes to give you that to try to throw you off.
Yeah. We've now that you say that, I don't think we've ever got the name of a demon we were dealing with.
Yeah.
I tell you that something that we found that's really odd is that I can name of probably 10 different locations. Let's just say 50% we've been to. We come across a spirit named Emily.
Oh, from 10 different locations?
Oh yeah, different locations.
At
We
least.
deal with it, and that's makes me wonder. Do we? I often I've asked myself, so do we have something following us
Yeah.
and it's screwing with us? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
and it's
Or it, yeah, I'm sorry. It, what if, I mean, I don't know, but what if that this could be one of your guides? Maybe it goes by Emily. I don't, I mean, I don't know. Or it could be
I don't
someone.
know.
Do you guys have any kind of ancestors named Emily or like past relatives?
No,
No.
it's just and it just happens to be a young lady who did work for my wife. She's just like the last few weeks ago. Her name was Emily, and
Oh,
it was like, yeah, it was so weird because one day after about I don't know 10 different places we went and investigated, we got the name Emily, and I was like, I saw her one day, and it dawned on me. I was like, damn. It dawned on me because we'd get Emily and we go to another one and it would be Emily's here or this is Emily or Emily, a little high pitched little girl named Emily. And it
wow.
dawned on me one day standing there that how many times have we got the name Emily?
Your name.
Yeah. So it was so wild that we didn't pick up on that until, 6 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Fun.
amazing.
It's
Dang.
wild.
Yeah. Uh, I've gotten also names where I've went to locations, and this is one of my I think one of my wildest things in locations is as far as like name validations is historical names that came through of people that I didn't really look into yet and that I get because I didn't really know too much about a certain location, well, like Dyer Lane. It would be my first visit there, right? And
Yeah.
then I'm going through my Ovilus device, and I'm like, wait a minute, we got this name Lynn. Who's Lynn? So I do a lot of researching on this location, and it turns out that I find out that there was a Lynn, and she was actually a woman that was kidnapped by her own sister, took her out of her room, and brought to Dyer Lane to be sacrificed to summon a demon.
Oh my gosh.
And her name came up on the
That's right.
obelisk, and
Yeah,
also,
that's nuts.
yeah, and on the not just the obelisk, but when I asked for who was there, and there was this woman that came through my SB7 spirit box and said, "Lynn," really loud.
Wow.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. And there's actually this legend about Dyer Lane that since she passed away, was sacrificed there, that the trees bend over the road like that, watching the road.
Wow.
Wow.
That place, like those trees are watching you. That's why it's no surprise that I caught a face on that tree.
You did?
Yeah, I got to show you that picture. I'll have
Wow.
to send that one. Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
picture of a tree, and it's got like this smile at me.
Oh gosh.
Trippy. It. My fiance said it reminds her of Wizard of Oz, like it's gonna start throwing some apples at me. Like it's crazy, and it just reminds you every time you go out there, you're being watched by not just the spirits, but the trees are watching you.
Man, we're learning so much. It's scary the amount what we're doing and the amount of things we do not have a clue. But I guess
Yeah.
that's what keeps us going back for more.
Oh yeah, it's you know, it's definitely kind of an adrenaline rush when you're going out there because the excitement.
Yeah.
I get really motivated once I'm out there. I'm like so focused into it, and you just get really immersed into it, especially like when you start. If you guys ever get into making projects with this stuff, like when you start to really get immersed into reviewing your stuff and turning into a project, you get really immersed in it so much so to where there was actually one time where I was working on a project and I had the Ovilus device running just because maybe a spirit, one of my guides or something would tell me something about what I'm working on, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm working on this photo and I was like, damn, what is this? And it was like this big orb. I thought it was just a zoomed in orb because I did see some faces in it. I was like, this is a really nice orb capture. And but it wasn't an orb, it's a portal. And immediately as I'm working on that, my Ovilus said portal. It validated portal on it. I was like, okay. I said,
Wow.
interesting portal. And then it said ghost on there. It said portal ghost, like
Ah,
in that order. I'm like, something is like telling me something about this thing on my laptop, this photo I'm looking at. So sometimes as I'm doing projects, I'll have my Ovilus running and it'll just kind of tell me things about what I'm working on.
I hadn't
Yeah.
thought of that. That's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. So I've used my Ovilus in many situations. I've even took them on hikes, just because some of the place I've gone on hikes at, there's a lot of native ground over there, and there's all sorts of like spirits, I'm sure, just passing by, and I just kind of like the
Yeah.
just to kind of go out there and see if there's any kind of things that aren't told about out there, and I
Sure.
might get that
Yeah.
message, that advice, even on a simple as taking a hike.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
That is a
So
good
We
idea.
usually some shape or form we'll usually have some type of equipment
Equipment
with us
with
too. We
yeah,
used to not, but we do now because
Yeah.
the more you go, we realize there's always something around you.
yeah,
Always.
yeah,
Always.
definitely. And some people think that that only specific zones or places on Earth can be haunted, and that's 100% true. There could be anything anywhere in the invisible space at any point in time in space where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I was explaining this before about the whole cemetery versus an airport. People would least suspect an airport of a spirit, but you'd be surprised. You stick an infrared camera during live of all the hundreds and thousands of people that go through the airport every day, how many of those in that crowd of people is someone that isn't a physical solid person?
Oh
That's,
wow.
there's a lot,
Wow.
so much energy from every body that's there, because what people forget is our human bodies are the most important devices at a paranormal investigation. And our energy attracts that. So imagine thousands of bodies in one building. That's a
Hmm.
power plant for spirit generating itself and manifesting.
Never thought about that.
And a cemetery, it's a dead zone. So there's only the residual energy or energy from the earth for it to resonate off.
That's wild. We got a cemetery we go to. Riley and I go there a lot. When we want to go do something and we can't figure out where we want to go, we go to the boneyard.
Yeah.
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 And
I love it.
we always get communication there.
Oh yeah.
Always. Don't we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because
we do.
it's because there's so much residual runoff from all of the burials. There's history attached to each of them too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I love going to graveyards, especially the old ones, when you get these
Hmm.
beautiful
Yeah.
big headstones and the
Yeah.
mausoleums and stuff. I would love to go investigate a mortuary someday. That would be the dream right there.
So V jump back up here. V said to you, Duran, he said that doll you shared has an incredible amount of power. He said he has seen that doll in his dreams.
Oh, what?
That doll seen him
Angela?
do it. That doll has seen Angela also, or seen him evidently.
Oh, wow.
Chastity probably she's manifested something to him about that doll, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Uh, Angela, she's a particular doll that you don't want to try to invoke or want to have welcome in your house. So if you think about the entities of an object enough, the manifestation of those entities will come visit you, definitely.
I agree
Um,
with that, man. I
so
agree. How powerful your mind is amazing.
yeah, exactly. And the power of fear too, the fear and thought
Yeah.
mixed, generates that, so much more powerfully. Especially in dreams. The power of dreams is crazy. And if we
Hmm.
lose control of our own dreams, or we can't feel protected or safe in our own dreams, it could drive you mad, you know.
Hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll mess you up. And that's how people end up getting possessed too, a lot easier is through their dreams. You end up getting possessed a lot easier that way because um is when you're in that deep sleep state, you're not just more vulnerable because the third eye, but your the heart rate is slowed down. So you're you're part of that collective like I was talking about, but you are in this when you're in this deep sleep, you're in this zone where your your heart rate slowed, your heart if your heart rate slowed, that means your heart chakra is going to be more vulnerable. An
Yeah.
entity that is a demonic in nature, if it is a real demon, a true demon, or something that is reptilian in nature, because a lot of reptilians do work with demonics, they cannot attach
Right.
to your higher chakras. Because they don't possess a heart, they attach to your chakras below the heart chakra. So if your heart chakra is shot or is down, that's where it leaves you more vulnerable for attack. So restoration of your heart, that's why love is a big thing. Someone that is like completely like just a grumpy person, never happy, not a loving person, most susceptible for a demonic attack because and attachments because they don't possess that heart. They despise that heart. So
Yeah.
if you have a strong heart chakra and you're taking care of that, they're gonna have a really hard time attaching to you and messing with you.
Hmm.
So yeah, the chakras are very important to kind of tune into, because that's where you really start learning how to really balance yourself, grounding and restoring each of those to where you start to really bring out more truth about who you are too. And that's where intuition starts coming in too. I started getting that in about late 2021 is when I started finally realizing some intuitive things about me, that I had some type of intuition, and I've never known that all this time. And that didn't start until after my second time at Dyer Lane. Um, and I noticed on camera even too. I'm like, that's weird. I would tell Charles and other people on the team, I'm like, there's something about this spot that we need to be right here. And
Yeah.
we would capture all sorts of stuff and photographs in those specific spots that I was saying we need to be right here.
Wow.
And those were like the early signs that I noticed on when I got into the field, that there was some type of intuitive about me, but I'm still trying to learn it all. I'm
Sure.
really new into it with as far as like the intuition stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm still learning a lot, and it's I mean, it's going to be a long journey, like understanding it all, but the knowledge helps a lot.
Oh
Knowledge is
yeah.
important. You could have intuition and all that stuff. If you don't know anything about it, that that shit could get really dangerous.
I can
Yes,
only
sir.
imagine. I'm sure it can.
Hmm.
So like I said, we talk about it all the time. We see so much, and I always wonder how much are we missing just because we don't know.
I know.
We don't have
Oh,
the knowledge, So I'm sure we'll keep growing, I guess, for sure
Yeah.
intellectually with all this we do.
oh, I
Yeah.
know. And you know,
Yeah.
every investigation you guys go out and do, you're taking in new information every time. And regardless if you think you are or not, you are taking in that information and you learn more each time,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
you know. And there's also those do's and don'ts. You learn do's and don'ts each time you go out. And when I go out, every time I learn from all sorts of stuff. I'm like, man, okay, I'm not going to do that next time, but instead I'm going to do this. And man, I should have done this. And there's like a lot of things I learn every time that I improve from. And that's what I love about it. There's that learn of improvement too. Every time you go out there, there's something that you're like, man, I wish I could have done that. And then you start doing on your next investigation, and you start just nailing like really good spots um you start to learn like when you should be doing stuff. And I was gonna ask you guys this before I forget. Sorry, I'm cutting out of what I was just talking about, but have you guys had like a lot of active experiences with the paranormal when it's cleanup time, when you guys are putting stuff away?
We have a few times, yeah.
Yeah, that's very common. It's because they know the lights are off, the cameras are off, and then they want to start doing stuff. And also, it's the most intimidating time because um, you're putting stuff away. You got to experience the stuff and you don't have proof of it. So you got to face
Yeah.
whatever crap's going to scare the shit out of you, and you don't even
Yeah.
have it on camera.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they like to do that because I felt that feeling before early in the field where I'm cleaning up, it's cleanup time, and I'm getting cords together, putting cameras and devices away. And then all of a sudden, I start feeling like something is right over my shoulder, like nose to the back of my head, like following me around. And
Yeah.
I felt like the second I turn around, there's gonna be something right there. And then when I turn around, no one's there. And then I turn back around, and then I just feel it again, like it just walked back up to me.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
usually that cleanup time, that's why a lot of paranormal investigators, they always they'll say it, they'll be like the worst time's the cleanup time. It's not just because the cleanup, it's because they like to mess with you during cleanup.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan was just reminding us that the first time y'all went to Trevette Clinic, he said as soon as y'all started packing up to leave, you started hearing footsteps upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Wow. Dang.
Man, I hate to
Yeah.
do this, Duran. We got to get off.
Yeah.
We got something we got to go take care of. It's called supper.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, you guys enjoy. Hey,
Man,
I appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you being able to hop on at the last minute. That was
Yeah.
awesome. I said,
yeah.
man, he won't be able to get on, but we'll try him anyway. So that was
Oh
great.
yeah. We got on though, and this is great. Very, very informative information. It was really good. I always enjoy talking with you guys.
Yes,
when you
sir.
guys going live next?
Going where?
When you guys gonna be popping on live next?
Oh yeah. So we every Wednesday night. We go every Wednesday night.
Wednesday night? Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely have to start trying to catch you every Wednesday, so
Please
I
do.
could tune in with you guys, and because I like to hear what you guys talk about. You guys are really good people, and
Thank
I'm
you.
really glad to meet
Thank
you
you,
guys.
man.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. We feel the same.
Yeah.
We'll go live Saturday
Okay.
from the Henry River Mill Village. We're going to try to go live there as long as we got some cell service.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And
Okay.
Chastity will be there too.
Yeah, so you'll be awake also because we'll be there until 7 Eastern time to 2 a.m. So
Oh wow.
it'll be
Nice.
early for you. It'll be early for you, but it'll be late for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. On Saturday, I'll probably be off work at 8:30, so I'll definitely be able to tune in just in the right moments of you guys' investigation.
Awesome. That sounds good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, we
All right.
appreciate it, man. Y'all check out Duran at Dead Serious Investigations, YouTube and Instagram. Do you have a Facebook?
No, I don't.
Yeah, we're on Facebook just because that's kind of what we push to start with. But we're going to
Yeah.
start leaning a little bit harder on YouTube and
Okay.
Instagram, trying to see if we can make it grow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Expand.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, man. We appreciate it.
guys.
We'll catch you later.
Oh yeah, definitely. Take care.
You too, buddy.
All right, down south people. This is that time. We appreciate y'all getting on. Check us out.
We do.
Check us out this weekend. We'll let you know when we start going live Saturday night from Henry River Mill Village. I'm pretty sure it's going to be one heck of an experience. With that, let them know.
I will keep the page updated the rest of this week. If anything change, I will let me restart. I will notify everybody on the Down South page if anything changes, but the plan is to see y'all at some point Saturday, late afternoon or night, on the live from this location, given that we are available to video.
We will be able to.
We should be.
Finish it up. I'm ready to eat.
And until that time, y'all, you can catch us at that Down South out.
Good evening. Good night. Take care, everybody.